Hi everybody, my name is Scott Walls. For over 25 years, I've deployed ERP applications for some of the world's largest organizations. During that time, I've taught thousands of people just like you how to discover, use, deploy, and support Oracle's back office software. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you about catalogs or the catalog application within Procurement Cloud, as well as about pre-negotiated content, which is just a larger set of information around catalog requesting. Please note that this lesson is part of the catalog course found within the Procurement functional area under the Discover menu. But before we get started, did you know that you could earn free discovery badges for your profile on LinkedIn just by watching videos like this one? You can. Stay until the end of this video and I'll show you how. Okay, so let's get started. Key topics for this lesson are as follows. What are catalogs? Catalog types and subtypes. Beyond catalogs, so pre-negotiated content. Accessing pre-negotiated content from the requisition homepage. When is pre-negotiated content created? Pre-negotiated content in action, so we'll give some examples. And then lastly, why are catalogs created? First topic, what is a catalog? Item catalogs provide a simple mechanism for locating items and their source information for the purposes of creating a purchase order and requisition lines. In Oracle Cloud, the catalog application involves several constructs used to represent pre-negotiated content, or what we call PNC. So item catalogs are just a subset of a larger set of tools to represent previously negotiated content. Second topic, what are the different catalog types? Well, there's largely three: informational, local, and punch-out or remote. Informational catalogs are items that you can see and search, but they really aren't items. They point, when you click on them, they take you to other web pages or URLs, Uniform Resource List. Next, the local catalogs. So these are items and they're created and managed in your instance of Fusion. Most often they're created by someone in procurement, but they could also be managed or created by a supplier through the supplier portal. And then there's punch out or remote items. These particular items are created and managed at the supplier. You connect to the supplier to see them. They could also be created and managed at a third-party marketplace like SciQuest or some of these other different applications. But again, you have to punch into those to fill your cart up and then come back into Fusion, meaning that the definition for these items and catalogs exist in another application, not in Fusion. But these items are created and managed by that supplier. It's not just who creates the items, but if the item or part of purchasing or assembling the item or configuring the item requires certain software, then that's obviously not going to be resident in Fusion. And so you would need to punch into these other tools to be able to create the content. So those are catalog types. Third topic, now let's go beyond catalog types to other pre-negotiated content constructs. So you can see our three catalog types across the top. Now we're going to talk about information template. So that's where we have other fields that we need to capture as part of ordering something. The easiest and most common example is a business card. And so I need your title. I need maybe your phone number. So I need to add some additional data elements. And so those will be done using information templates. Really what it means is that you take those data elements and you add them to what is a non-catalog request, which is a very generic request. And that then is called a SmartForm. You see that there on the right. Now, you can also just add information templates to a category. So say, for example, somebody's going to provide or purchase software or servers. Well, whenever you purchase a server, I need you to tell me what data center you're going to put it into. Well, then I can create an information template. Then whenever a requester uses the category of servers, this pops up and they need to answer these questions. So those are just different ways that we have these different pre-negotiated or types or structures of content, and this is ways that we can add more data. Probably one other good, these really have endless uses. So for example, the SmartForm, sometimes you hear them called a PERF, a Procurement Engagement Request Form. Completely generic way to ask procurement how to do something or what to do or request something to be done. We just don't want it done in an email. There's also sometimes when I need a new project before I can create a request, then that might be called a project request. So you can see SmartForms allow the use of requisitions, and you can also change the line type related to the SmartForm, so you can isolate these as $0 or non-financial requests, right? So these are all tools to make requests, but most often, I know my last two examples were a little bit out of pre-negotiated content, but that's what you see these different constructs being used for. Fourth topic, accessing pre-negotiated content from the requisition page. So you can see on the left here, this is the requisition homepage. And so pre-negotiated content, let's just say again, a local catalog item. It could be used or referenced in a shopping list. It could be part of the catalog, so you could search for it. It could be under the shop by category, so where you drop that down and it trolls through the purchasing categories. And you can turn on this idea of parentheses and numbers. So if you have 7 items under the server category, you can see that. But that's all for pre-negotiated content there. Then you have SmartForms, we talked about those, and informational items. Fifth topic, so when are these catalogs created? So we've talked extensively in this procurement services flow that the purchasing services leverage existing pre-negotiated content. So you're not going to create the catalogs there. It's when you can't find pre-negotiated content, you create a non-catalog request, and it begins the sourcing process that doesn't have to, but may enable new catalogs. Sixth topic, when are catalogs used? So again, staying with the theme that we just talked about, you can create the catalogs in sourcing services, but sometimes when you do, so I'm now going to go buy laptops, I go off script for non-catalog request or a new phone type or something. Then when we decide, hey, we've sourced this, let's make this available in a catalog to the rest of our requesters. You can do so by adding it to a catalog, and then you'll see it in the purchasing services. So seventh topic. So now we just get into the different, we showed earlier where you can use pre-negotiated content. This is probably a little bit of a deeper dive. So we talked about these shopping lists, and on the right-hand side, when you click shopping list, you can see public lists and private lists. So you can create your own, or you can use procurements, let's say, or the public listings, and that's what's on the right. Next, we talked a little bit about shop by category. So you can see some of the different categories that we've got for expenditures, and those categories could be used to house items. Next, the search. So you could see we could search, and then different items would be returned. And those could be, again, when you talk about any pre-negotiated content, whether you're in the shop by category shopping list, you could see SmartForms here. You could see informational items returned here. You could see local catalogs, punch out, well, not always punch out catalogs. You have to configure them a certain way. But the point is, all of those different previously or pre-negotiated content structures can be searched on. Can be in the shop by category structure, can be in the shopping list. So next you see here this idea of punch out. So in this case, if you're looking at the image on the left, where there's an Amazon in the middle to the left, click that and it drops you into the image on the right. And so you shop within Amazon. Then when you purchase things, those things come back into your cart. For some punch outs, it's harder to find these enabled, but you can actually get the supplier to give you the description of their items, load them into the punch out so that they're searchable without having to punch into this different supplier's environment or application. Next up, shop by SmartForm. So you can see here when we talked about, in this example, somebody wants to buy some IT services for an Oracle Cloud contractor. So we added some custom fields whenever this category is used. that we want to know the role, the pillars, the offerings, the applications, years of experience, etc. So these are different DFFs. All the DFFs that I discussed, the role, pillars, offerings, application, whatever. These are rolled into a context. Context is Oracle Cloud Contractor. And then the context can be linked to a category. It's part of an information template. It can be created inside of a SmartForm. But this is all different ways to help represent or capture pre-negotiated content. So let's recap. You should now understand a lot more about catalogs or pre-negotiated content. You should understand what catalogs are, the different types of catalogs, right? So local, remote, information. Catalogs versus pre-negotiated content. You should understand when a catalog is created versus a catalog is used. Still not sure? Go ahead and watch it again. It's free. But if you understand the material, it's time to move on to the next lesson in this course. And that's it for this presentation, but it doesn't have to be the end of your learning journey. There are thousands of free videos just like this one. Remember, better content, better skills, better income, better life. We want to help you get 1% better every day. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Okay, as promised, here are the 5 steps you can perform today to start earning free badges for your LinkedIn profile. Step 1, navigate to Panameer.com and either sign in or join now. It's free. Step 2, in the upper left, under the Discover menu, select the course that you want to watch and get badged for. Step 3, watch all of the different video lessons in that course. Step 4, when it's complete, send your LinkedIn profile and the course you watched and your user ID to badges@Panameer.com. And then sit back and wait for Step 5 when we attach a badge to your LinkedIn profile.